VTEC. Give me some more of that juicy VTEC. Hey guys, my name is Elias. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in today. For today's episode, we're gonna be doing a first-time truck buyer video. Now, as you can see behind me, I don't have a truck. I have a 2019 Honda Odyssey. Now, why am I even looking at a Honda Odyssey for a truck series review? Well, let's go ahead and talk about it. Of course, big thanks to Honda of Hackettstown. So, since this is one of the first episodes, if not the first episode, of the first time truck buyer series, let me explain to you what I'm doing. I'm actually looking for a truck for me to buy. So I'll be looking at the different trucks out there, different utility vehicles, to see which suits me the best. Now, why am I sitting in a Honda Odyssey? Well, it goes back to the fact that you really got to figure out what you need before you find out exactly what truck or minivan or SUV you're actually going to buy. Because depending on your needs and my needs, you can get different vehicles. So for my needs, I need something that can tow around 3,000 pounds, maybe 3,500 pounds at the most. Something that I can carry a bunch of stuff in, something that can, be versatile, I can use in the winter, something that I can, just kind of throw stuff in there, throw people in there, and just not worry about it and take road trips on. And a lot of people really overlook minivans. I feel like, the United States, they don't like the minivan, and people don't think it's a cool vehicle to own, whatever the case may be. I think you are missing out. So let's go ahead and talk about why this car actually makes a fairly decent utility vehicle in terms of space, cargo, and even towing abilities. So what are the capabilities of this minivan? Well, it has a payload capacity of around 1,500 pounds. That's a lot. You can throw a lot of stuff back in here and still have a lot of space and pounds to spare. You can do a lot of things back there. You can take those seats off and you can store a lot of junk, wheels, whatever you want. You could even throw motorcycles in there if they fit. But yeah, it's a lot of payload capacity. Most pickup trucks, smaller ones, have around the same, around 1,500, maybe 1,700 pounds of payload if you're lucky. Now, towing capacity. Surprisingly, the Odyssey can tow up to 3,500 pounds, and it does it fairly easily. It's a pretty hefty vehicle. It's a pretty big vehicle, so it doesn't really get swayed around or thrown around a lot by heavy weight. The only thing keeping it back, likely, is the automatic transmission is not rated for anything more than 3,500 pounds. With that said, can it tow my race car and on a dolly or something like that? Of course. The Prelude only weighs around 2,900 pounds. It can definitely be towed by the Honda Odyssey. So, saying all that, how does the Odyssey drive? What does it give you? What do you lose out in terms of comparing it to other pickup trucks or other utility vehicles, SUVs, and things like that? Let's go ahead and start driving it around and see what it's like. So as you're setting off, the first thing you gotta get used to, of course, is this kind of button setup for your transmission. But it's not that difficult. You press D for drive while you hold the brake down, and there you go. So we go ahead and start driving it around. It's got a beautiful 280 horsepower V6 under the hood. So the minivan, while often overlooked, as sort of a soccer mom in the US, it's highly underrated in my humble opinion. It's often overlooked because it's just not seen as a cool car to own or drive, because usually the people that drive minivans have a ton of kids, and I guess being a parent isn't cool anymore? I beg to differ. So instead of going for minivans, usually what families go for is the SUV. Now, yeah, while it offers you a little bit extra ground clearance, it offers you that at the expense of extra stability. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I actually prefer my cars to be nice and stable, especially if I'm going to be stowing my family all up in there. So, you know, I do prefer the minivan over the SUV, and you should as well. Anyway, enough of all that. Let's go ahead and talk about how this minivan drives and how much I really like this car. Ooh, we hit VTEC. Oh yeah, this sounds amazing. Oh, and it's even got paddle shifters. So, looking at this kind of middle of the road $35,000 Honda Odyssey EX, what do you get? Well, let's look at the exterior first. And I think this minivan looks amazing in this shade of blue. It's really dark blue. It looks really, really, you know, subdued. It looks almost black, but it is actually a dark blue, and I really, really like the way it looks. So if you look at the front of the minivan of the Odyssey, sorry, with a little more acceleration right here. Oh man, you gotta love this V6. It's 280 horsepower, 270 foot-pounds of torque, 9-speed automatic. This thing is great, and I can have a paddle shifter too. Can't go wrong with that. So anyway, looking at the front of the Honda Odyssey, it actually looks really good. It has a very similar look to what the Honda Ridgeline has. And now some people don't like this look on the Honda Ridgeline. They think it looks too soft. They want a more macho looking truck. But when you look at the this minivan right here, it looks really good with it. It has those fog lights at the bottom. I like the way the headlights work, and it has the daylight running LEDs around the headlights. I think it looks really, really good. You know, some people, like I said, don't think that minivans are cool anymore, but I think this minivan in particular looks really sweet. And the more I drive it, the more I kind of want one. And my least favorite part of the exterior is the rear of the minivan. I don't know what Honda was thinking. I don't think the rear of this van looks good at all. Whenever I see it on the highway, I think it looks really, really ugly. I think VTEC is drowning out my voice, but that's okay. We can quiet it down with some paddles. It is in sport mode, in case you guys are wondering. Yes, this minivan does have sport mode. This is like an Odyssey Type R. It's great. So as I was saying, yeah, the rear of the minivan of the Odyssey does not appeal to me. I don't like the way it looks at all. Luckily, I don't have to look at it if I'm in the car, so there's that. Let's move on to the meat and potatoes. What's on the inside? Oh, VTEC. Give me some more of that juicy VTEC. So what does the interior have? Better question to ask is, what doesn't the interior have? So, I can carry 8 passengers in complete comfort. We got some beautiful back seats and front seats, or captain's chairs as I call them. They have these awesome armrests, they're leather. They're incredible. They're just really comfortable, and there's 4 of them. You could take out the middle to move around the captain's seats to have easier access to the back if you want. You could leave that in, and you can move the captain's chairs forward in the back so you can get easy access to the rear seats. You can take out all the seats and put the rear seats down and get all the space that you want. You can use it as a van, which is really cool. You can then only put the rear seats back, and you could put coolers and bikes and all kinds of things back here. You could get a roof rack and you can live in it. You put a roof rack to put your storage and kind of take all this stuff out, and you could put a table back here and live in the minivan if you want. You know, these minivans aren't that mini anymore. These are huge minivans. And one thing I gotta say while I'm driving it doesn't feel that big, but we'll get to that in the driving portion. The infotainment system. I mean, the infotainment system is really well done. I love the transitions from page to page. I think it looks really good. I do like the fact that I can control everything from the driver's seat, from the door opening to the different speaker setup, the Blu-ray disc player, the volume, the temperature in the back, the temperature in the front, the fan speeds in the back and front. I can do everything from the driver's seat, and that's an awesome feature to have, especially if you're driving around, if you're a mom or a dad, and you have a whole bunch of kids back there, and it's too cold, it's too hot, what do I do? Okay, don't worry about it, I got you. Or let's say they start touching buttons and things like that, you can just lock them all out. Easy as that. What else does this thing have? Well, I love the fact that in the rear, I mean everywhere actually, you can connect so many things. There's 180 watt, 12 volt access ports everywhere on this vehicle. So there's one here, one in the middle, one all the way in the back. You got auxiliary plugins pretty much everywhere. You can plug in headphones pretty much everywhere. This car actually comes with headphones because it has this beautiful screen right here, quite lovely. You don't get any of this stuff on a pickup truck, by the way. None of this stuff. Now, to my favorite part. How does this very spacious, very capable, very comfortable minivan actually drive? Well, I gotta tell you, this thing drives like a dream. It's so comfortable in here. It's so stable. I don't feel like I'm tipping over. When you drive a pickup truck, you're kind of high up there. You're kind of high up here as well. You got a pretty good visibility here, but what you don't have is the feeling of kind of floating up in the air. It's very stable. It's down planted to the ground, thank goodness, and it feels pretty good. My favorite part for sure have to be these paddle shifters. I did not expect a minivan to have paddle shifters, so it's unexpected, and I'm really enjoying them. It really livens up this beautiful V6, which is a gem of an engine. And I've said it every time I drive a V6, a Honda V6, I say that it's a gem, and it's because it truly is a gem of an engine. I love the J35 V6 from Honda. It's in the Ridgeline, and it's in the Odyssey. Listen to that. Oh, the VTEC. Give me that VTEC. Oh, yeah, the VTEC. I'm driving this thing like if it was a sports car. And that's the key to having one of these things. You can drive it as if it's a sports car. You can drive it as, a regular car and still have all those capabilities, still have all this space, dropping in a couple gears into VTEC. Oh my God, the VTEC crossover is ridiculous. It's so good. Oh my goodness, this is making a really good case for itself because it's actually really fun to drive. I'm blasting the AC. I barely even hear it, but I'm nice and cool on a 97 degree day. It's 97 degrees out right now, and that's just crazy. I'm just really enjoying the capabilities that I'm about to have. I can have a family of 5 get in here behind me and be comfortable. I can have I can put cargo back here. I can tow a lightweight race car. It's just great. It's just great. All right, let's calm it down. Let's drive it as most people are gonna drive it, as a normal person, not as a maniac. And this is where it really shines. I mean, I can totally be here for hours. I can drive this thing for 10, 15, 20 hours and still be comfortable the entire time. It's just really amazing what they've done with this Odyssey. I can't believe it, but it's such a good car. Such a good vehicle. If you don't have to tow anything more than 3,000 pounds, if you don't mind having a minivan, I think minivans are cool. We got to bring back the minivan phase. Back in the early 90s, minivans were all the rage. Unfortunately, the SUV has taken over. And really, I just don't think the SUVs are worth it when you have such a capable vehicle in the Honda Odyssey. Yeah, sure, you get a little extra clearance and maybe all-wheel drive on some of the SUVs, but put some snow tires on this thing, you'll outperform any all-wheel drive vehicle with regular all-season. So there goes that argument out the window. And it's just a great car to have. I would love to own one of these one day. And I actually do look forward to one day owning one of these. I think I will own one of these in my garage. It will be in the garage one day. I don't know what I'll do with it. I mean, I'll probably have 1 or 2 kids. So when I have 1 or 2 kids, they'll sit in the captain's chairs. We'll have tons of space in the back for the dog or two. Take this out for road trips. Man, this is ideal. And you just pretty much fly under the radar. Nobody expects a minivan owner to drive fast, and you know they really don't care when you're driving fast. Oh, it's just a minivan, whatever. When you're in a Type R, for example, you got a big wing in the back. People notice you. It's kind of a it's kind of a loud, brash car. This minivan, nobody even takes a second look. I think that's a good thing. All right, guys, that pretty much wraps it up. I really enjoyed playing around with the Odyssey today. It's got so much capabilities. It's so much vehicle for such low price. If you're looking at SUVs, take a look at the Odyssey. Take a look at the Siennas. Take a look at whatever brand you like. But take a look at the minivan. It is an underrated vehicle. Nobody likes them. Everyone should buy one instead of an SUV. You heard it here first. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you next time. Peace out.